Fantastic. Hey, friends, we're deep in the new Foundry module for Warhammer 40K Imperium Maledictum Iron Archipelago Episode 6. Foundry has the new Imperium Maledictum core rulebook module, which I got. It's like just short of $30, I think. We're figuring out how to add ammunition and such, but all the characters have converted over well. It's rare. I've only seen James upset twice, and today was the second time because he ended up with negative XP, and boy, he was upset. He was real mad about that. I'm telling you, man, there's two ways to get a player character mad. Take away their XP or take away their items. You'll
So can I tell you a quick story when I got really mad yesterday?
Oh, please do.
Okay, so I'm a big collector of Lego, all right? And what I particularly like is the Lego Star Wars Ultimate Collector Series, the giant models that are like, 5,000 pieces, etc. But I also buy like the small Lego Star Wars ships, but I've run out of space to display them. So I've decided I'm going to take apart all my old Lego Star Wars models, except for the big ones, like the big ones on display, small ones put away, and my kids can build later on, for example. So I started taking them apart, and some of these Lego sets are older than my kids and have been built once and been on display sets. And one of them was the Jedi Starship from the Old Republic, the one the Jedi Consular and Jedi Guardian get. And I use the proper Lego separator tool. You haven't got one of those, get one of those to pull apart. 6 pieces snapped from being brittle. And they were all the same color. And that was the same set that used that color Lego piece. So I reckon that first run with that color, they didn't get the formula right because several of that color piece had perished. And breaking a Lego piece on a kit is a really frustrating thing because it means that kit is effectively, lost to you until you go and buy specific Lego pieces from Lego to replace them. I was annoyed. I swore.
He swore. He might have said bollocks or the C word. That's acceptable in Australia and nowhere else.
I call my boss the C word on an almost daily basis, so.
It has a totally different connotation over there.
No, it has the same connotation over there. It means the exact same thing. Yeah, so we're deep into customizing these sheets, getting everything working. So if people seem distracted for this first bit, that's why. But we were running like 3 minutes behind, and I thought we got to get started at some point. Hey, previously on this show, we ran into some problems trying to get on the Space Hulk. We're detained but not arrested. Very, very specific difference. You've come up with a plot now in order to spend conversation with the Sector Lord, the Governor, maybe having Rassie drop a dime, snitch a little bit, do a little the inquisitorial dance, and get this guy eliminated so he can solve his own problems. Because surely that's, that guy is literally the only thing standing between Rassie and forward movement on the Space Hulk. There will be no repercussions for this action either. Plenty of other things happened, which included finally sending a message psychically through your good man, the liturgical, and now we are at a, let's call it folk revival. Other people might call it gathering. We're at Father Firebrand's weekly sessions, and we're doing a little book burning tonight. Did I miss anything of importance from last time beyond people plotting to snitch out Lieutenant Mirage to the Inquisition for lack of faith? Because he doesn't believe the Inquisition's real. I talked to James about that. Apparently it would be weird for a officer of the Imperium to not believe in the Inquisition because they're all trained at the same place. So,
but
I've determined Mirage is just an idiot.
Yeah. I mean, to not think that they're everywhere and that sort of stuff. Like the Inquisition is something that I've heard about but never have to do. Would never actually encounter in my lifetime because only heretics encounter the Inquisition. You
know what? Let's just consider him a Mustang officer. He never went to officer school, so came up through the ranks.
He survived his way up.
Yeah, survived his way up. That's pretty much how it works in the Imperium, honestly. We cut back in. The smoldering pile of burning books is bright. Instead of rows of people, everyone is now milling about and gathering in a sort of semicircle around the burning pile of books. And then on stage still, with the chair stool that he's sitting in set so that people in like the middle of the pack can perfectly see him above the flames, is Father Firebrand. He's seated, he's got his legs crossed, he's got his guitar. He's finishing up a song about how only humans have souls and only things that have souls are human, and all non-human things should be eliminated, but it's set to a very popular children's song. And as he strums it at the end, all of the kids go crazy and start waving their arms in the air. At that point, he looks out over the group and says, hey, we're going to bring things down right now, okay? We're going to wrap up our time for tonight because we're all good workers here. And we got to wake up tomorrow morning. We got to go back to work. We got to do what we can. The Imperium needs strengthening. And you know what makes us for a strong Imperium and a strong forward defense against the enemies of humanity? Strong economy. Once you've sent your tithe in, paid your taxes, consider giving even more. Work as hard as you can for the rest of your life and give whatever you can back to the Imperium. Just some closing thoughts today, you know. I have a lot of people that come to me and they say, is hate wrong? And I say no. There's nothing wrong with hate. There's a lot of things we need to do in moderation, you know. A lot of tools of the archenemy. Excess, killing intent, arrogance, living an easy life, all right? Hatred, not on that list. As long as your hatred is not excessive or prideful or vain, as long as you pursue your hatred and don't let it rest easy. Revenge isn't a dish best served cold. It better be baked all the way. Excess is such a problem. Someone came to me this week, every day. She said, Father Firebrand, my boyfriend died recently, and I feel so ripe. And I said, ripe? It is good to be ripe in service to the Imperium. And she said, yes, I feel ripe. I want to have a child with you. And I said, outside of wedlock? No way, Jose. Not me. Not this Father Firebrand. We're following the rules as written. And she said, but what about the rules as intended, Father? And I said, no, that's wrong. It's non-human. And that's how you lose your soul. That's the first step to corruption. So, every day this woman comes to me. Today I say, woman, we can talk about starting a sequence of chaperone dates. But if you're looking for a child from me, you better start looking elsewhere. You better find someone you could spend your life with and marry them properly. Don't go outside the rules. And that's my advice to you. Keep your soul intact. No excess. Don't have too much killing intent. Don't live life too easily. But hate. Hate everything that isn't human. Because when the Emperor of Mankind came down, he gave us the strength we needed to protect humanity. All right? When I look at a statue of him, I think, every day I get the strength I need to protect you, all of you. The Imperium gains its strength like that. You think soldiers out there on the front line are cold, scared, afraid? You think they don't have enough ammunition or equipment? Lies. All lies. Every soldier of the Imperium has exactly what they need to do their job because the God Emperor has made it so. Everyone has plentiful ammunition, the perfect equipment that they need to get the job done. And that's because of people like you giving what you have. They live happy lives out there on the front lines. All right. Let's all bring it in and hold hands. And let's chant about which of our neighbors might secretly be heretics so that everybody knows who to suspect. And all around you, people begin taking the hands of everyone on either side. And Rassie, one of the children that was standing behind you, is just like, I know that the man who comes to take my garbage should be turned into a servitor because he's bad. I saw him kick an animal once, so he's bad. He's a bad person, and he should be shot in the head and then turned into a robot. And their dad is like, that's right, son. We're going to have to go to some sort of local law enforcement and make sure Mr. Arbitrage is turned in. I didn't know about that animal thing. He's like, oh, yeah, it was like a huge rat that was trying to eat at the trash. And he says, well, I just don't like him because I think he's seeing your mother. So, yeah, we'll do both of them. I hate him, too. And the guy squeezes your hand on the other side, Rassie. He's like, who do you hate? Who do you think is secretly trying to corrupt all of us from within?
Ooh. Rassie's not going to throw the officer down like that.
He nods at you. He says, I know it can be hard to suspect others, but only by closing our minds off from one another can we maintain the iron palaces needed to defend from corruption. But you got to let a little bit out, brother. You got to let it out. Take a deep breath with me. Think of the first name that comes to mind when you think of corrupt traitors. Who is it? Who do you see in your mind? And the little kid's like, yeah, who do you see?
Hold on, I'm looking at my notes real quick.
And why is his name Velamris, you son of a bitch?
Velamris, you whisper Velamris Quineel.
I mean, the first name that comes to his mind is definitely the Lord Colonel.
Do you say that? Do you say Lord Colonel Renard? After a short time, he says, wow, you don't know anyone that you can suspect. You must live such a blessed life.
To be so ignorant.
I just wish that I could be half as fortunate as you to serve in the Imperial Guard. Thank you so much for your service.
Thank you for yours.
He smiles and nods. I know, our jobs are equally difficult.
We both serve the best we can in the capacity we're meant to.
As the master of mankind has set it out. People begin leaving, and as they do, they turn to each other and give the ritual goodbye saying, which is blood for the God Emperor, skulls for the Golden Throne. And you can hear like them being greeted by Father Firebrand as they go out, and he's like, just a reminder, it's Killing Week next week. Keep in mind, any arch heretics, anyone you suspect, go out there and murder them in the streets.
So is he actually like you know?
He's at
like,
the exit to this.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, I'll definitely want to make my way over.
Okay. You start making your way over. You get in line for the people that are leaving. It's a slow exit because he is personally greeting and shaking hands with everyone on the way out. He sees you, Sister Holly, coming up next, and he kind of moves the person he's talking to along a little faster and says, oh, a true sister of the Imperium. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that this filled out all of the check marks needed for the face service. I try to do my very best like no one ever has.
Oh, thank you. It's a long time listener, first time visitor. It's I'd love to discuss more of this with you if you have. Do you take private consults?
All week long. Can I get you scheduled in for sometime tomorrow?
Yeah, my calendar is open except for half an hour before lunch and through most of lunch.
Open? You don't have any duties to attend to? Not enough work to do? I can talk to someone if you need a job.
No, I have a job, but I have a job that I control the timing of.
Am I talking to Holly or am I talking to James right now? Sorry to bring us out of the RP.
No, you are true. Look, I need to. We've got the morning stand up. As I said, I've got the.
Do you actually do morning stand up in real life?
I thought the liturgical does.
Oh, I thought you meant in real life. Yes, you do have to do morning stand up in the show for sure.
Yeah, no, it does.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. He doesn't understand, but he just nods along. And the two of you work out a time tomorrow. He gives you the location of his abode. He works out of like a small, like formerly abandoned like gas station for whatever the Warhammer 40K petrol's called. Not naphtha, no. Promethium? Is that what it's called?
That's right.
Yeah, it's like a Promethium station for vehicles that has been converted into a combination 2-story residence / cult headquarters. And I know when we say cult headquarters, it sounds so bad, but it's Warhammer 40K. Cult headquarters is actually fairly normal. It's still quite bad.
We're all part of the Imperial cult. What are you saying? Out of interest, is he carrying any obvious weapons?
I mean, he does have a staff of office that he has placed down. He has his acoustic guitar. He doesn't appear to have any outright weapons, but he could, his robes are kind of voluminous. He could be hiding a hand flamer or something.
Okay, no worries.
You want to get a closer look? Maybe.
No, I was just looking for anything that was obvious. I'm happy with what you've told me.
Sure. Velamris, Rassie, anything you want to do before leaving? Anyone you want to talk to? Drop a dime on?
Well, Velamris was following Holly. And so when Holly talked to Firebrand, he was there for the conversation, and he's going to want to attend that as well. But also,
so you're next in line, and he reaches out a hand to greet you and says, "I haven't seen you at one of these before, son."
Well, this is my first time here under your service, and I must say, I had thought my faith in the God Emperor was pretty strong, and I definitely feel more resolve now than when I came in.
He takes your hand in both of his hands, and he says, "It's not that your faith wasn't strong. Your faith is strong. You got yourself here, and that's as far as you needed to go. Your faith is strong. You just forgot how strong it is. It's about memory. And the best way to remember things is to do them over and over again. Hate, kill the enemy, devote yourself to the Imperium. Give what you can."
Indeed.
What's your name?
I'm Velamris.
Velamris? I'm going to remember you. I see your face. I'm burning it into my mind right now.
He turns his head.
All right, let's get you home.
I have the unremarkable quality, so hopefully he doesn't. He'll forget my face.
I love the idea that he says, "I'm going to remember you," and then 5 seconds later he goes, "I'm never going to remember that guy."
But what I would like to do, and we don't necessarily have to do it right this second, but I think at one point, Velamris is going to want to sit down with Holly regarding some questions of faith.
Okay.
In relation to tonight's events.
I think Rassie's going to be, while in the crowd on the way out. It's not going to drop the Lord Colonel's name, but will say that that Rassie has seen some things that make him suspect there might be a hidden source of corruption within the local guard unit.
Oh, it spreads so quickly as gossip that there might be a heretic. It spreads just as quickly as discussion about the tunnel snakes.
What's the worst heresy too? That the heretic within the guard or the commander who allows it to fester?
Do you say that?
if the rumor gets to me, sure.
Yeah. As you're exiting, Rassie, the father takes your hand, but unlike everyone else, he's not smiling when he takes your hand. He looks upset and he says, "I haven't seen you here before."
I have not been here before.
Why haven't you been here before? You're too good to spend your time in true service to the God Emperor?
I'm new to the station. This is my first opportunity to be here.
How long ago did you get here?
So, like 2 weeks ago or something?
2 weeks. 2 weeks, and this is your first time in church. I see.
What?
He stands there and stares at you awkwardly, and people in line behind you begin leaning out and wondering what's going on. And you get the uncomfortable feeling you're being marked as he says, well, let's get you on your way then. And maybe we should see you back here a little bit more often than 2 weeks.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, you're welcome. He sends you on your way. He wipes your hand on his robes. No, like his. Sorry, I said that right.
Yeah,
he wipes his hand.
The hand that he touched me
Yes,
with. Yeah.
yes. The way I said
Grabs
it
my
would be much
wrist and
weirder.
just said, so gross.
I said that wrong.
Are there still markets open at this time?
I mean, it's the Imperium. Everything's 24/7.
I'm
Also,
gonna try
there's
and buy
no sunrise here, so
I'm going to go and try and buy something.
okay.
What I want to buy is rare. If I can't buy that, I'm going to buy something that's scarce. If I can't buy that, I'm going to buy something which is common. And I'll tell you what it is when I get what I actually want to get.
Wow. You think you could just do that? You think you could just roll without telling me?
Well, then you can do the same where I find it. So my first roll. This is for the rare item, a 25% chance. No, okay. This is for the scarce item. This is a 60% chance. No, okay. So I am buying then a common item. I am buying a master-crafted axe.
I'm just worried you're going to do the same thing you did yesterday now.
Uh-oh. I don't know what happened yesterday, and I saw a comment
Some
or two.
wild shit, brother.
Now I'm incredibly curious.
Do you need to roll for this, or you're good?
No, it's
common, no.
Okay.
common. No, it's
Just
fine.
making sure.
So,
The audience got their first look at the new module right then, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks sick, doesn't it, Bo?
If only they gave me a free copy or reimbursed me, because I'm one of the only groups showing off the Foundry module. Okay, sorry. Let me be really clear so it auto-generates in the YouTube analytics and subtitles. We're showing off the Foundry module for Imperium Maledictum core rulebook. Nailed it. There's absolutely no chance YouTube will correctly get Maledictum. 0%.
I'll give you Zach's email address at Cubicle 7. Reach out to him and say we're doing this game, and he will.
They're not
Sure,
going to
he will
care.
sort you.
No copium. No copium.
They have sent me a bunch of stuff when I reached out to them. So
I mean, that sounds pretty fire and forget.
yeah.
What do you want to do now after you spend the evening late into the night looking for a mastercrafted axe?
We'll go back to my. So go ahead.
I directed that to everybody, by the way.
Okay.
It would take Holly hours of looking, by the way. So she keeps going through all these different items.
Yeah, because I was looking for first off for a mastercrafted power, as I say, chain axe, then a mastercrafted chain sword, and then I went just for a mastercrafted axe.
The
But
Codex
it's not for me.
approves.
I would also like the weapon seller to gift wrap it if possible.
Yes, they do. They wrap it in black and white gift wrapping paper of like Imperial skull symbols.
Yeah.
Instead of a bow, you get the script, the scroll on it.
The purity seal.
Oh,
there you
yes,
go.
it's a purity
I couldn't think of the
seal.
word.
Stamped onto it.
Yep. The wax is still a little soft yet for the
It says
first moment or two.
Imperium manufactured, made in the Imperium. There it is.
Made in the Imperium. I have a list of stuff I'm gonna buy, but I think when we go to the break, I can do my rolls then. The one common item I wanted to get was an omniscope for my sniper rifle.
Oh, an omniscope. What a Nero-ish item. Please make your roll.
Oh, it's common.
It's
I don't
common.
need to roll for
Oh,
it.
you don't have to roll.
The other stuff I want to get is either rare or scarce, and I'll roll that.
It just bamfs into existence in his hands.
Well, I mean, it's easy to find. But,
You still have to spend money for it, though, I believe.
I'll adjust that. Yeah, I do. It's
Just to make
50.
sure.
Reaches into his
50 according to my
pocket to pull out some solars and finds
Yeah.
his omniscope instead.
Yeah,
When did this happen?
And unless there was any other scenes that would need to be done Velamris would want to. Well, I guess Holly's out roaming around, so maybe I'll catch her before we hop on the company bus to go to work in the morning.
As you three are making your way on the company shuttle, you notice that there's a renewed faith in everyone at the bus stop. As people go past you, people are having discussions with each other. One of them's just like, I was just rereading some scripture, and it said hatred steals our resolve. And the man he's walking with goes, "You're right. Hatred is our surest weapon." And like a fruit vendor on the street calls out to the two of them and is like, "Hatred is the Emperor's greatest gift to humanity." And everybody's like, I sure love hating things, as they go past you on the market street. As your shuttle shows up, it seems like Father Firebrand's service, which is only attended by a few hundred people, has renewed the faith of all levels of society here.
When we get on the shuttle, are we the only ones?
Well, there's the servitor.
Or the servitor. Okay, so we could probably talk freely.
Now, just to be clear, it's an open air shuttle. It doesn't have a top to it. The three of you are in a
you can still kind of keep your
Star
voice
Wars
down
style airspeeder car.
Yeah,
but you have some measure of privacy going 20 miles an hour. So it's British. So you're going 35 kilometers an hour. I mean, just log shot. I actually don't know the kilometers an hour to mile an hour conversion.
25 miles an hour.
It's 1.61 kilometers per mile.
Sure, that makes sense.
So 35 is probably not far off.
But I know the temperature conversion much better by heart, because it's 9/5 plus or minus 32, or 5/9 plus or minus 32.
Sister, I did want to ask something. I feel you are something of an expert in the cult Imperium, or whatever the creators call it. Cult Imperial. Yeah, that one. I thought there was a different term, but what is your take on this Firebrand? Is he legit? A lot of things he said sounded legit to me, but I would imagine you're more in the know.
Look, there were some things that he said that were a little concerning, but the good thing about growing up on Macaria was that these sorts of movements appeared all the time. Unfortunately, they'd often come to blows with one another over some different interpretation of the God Emperor's word, but I didn't see anything which immediately flagged my concern that this is entirely untoward. I think that they have certainly trod dangerously close to a few precipices that they could easily fall over, which is why I plan to have a further conversation with Father Firebrand tomorrow. But I think that a lot of what he said is true. Hate was certainly one of the Emperor's first gifts to mankind. That the unclean, the alien, the mutant, the heretic, all deserve nothing but the traitor's pyre.
I think my concern was that
there were two things that happened that concerned me.
How so?
Well, the first was when I was talking to some others about some of the Father's teachings. One of the things that was mentioned was a doctrine that what we knew when we were born is all we are meant to know. We should not learn from other places. Now, I was raised learning about the glory of mankind, about the Emperor, all of these things that I was given enough understanding of to become the best person that I could be, the best servant that I could be. So that kind of worried me. I wasn't born knowing some of the things that I know now that I feel I ought to know. If I did not know the rites and rituals for my weapons, then I wasn't born knowing those things, and surely I wouldn't want to offend the machine spirit of the tools that I need in order to serve. So that was kind of concerning to me. The other thing is, I think the father took a personal problem with me. So I'm not sure why, but
It's a personal problem. What happened? I almost said, "What did you do?" But I don't think it was you.
I
I
mean,
mean,
look, sorry, just to say, like, I mean, some people just don't like Rassie, like the Turgical, you know. I mean, I don't particularly like either of you, but that's okay because we work together. We're not friends. And I mean, instant dislike, is that a problem? I don't know. Maybe he has an issue with the guard. He seemed to.
I suppose, but I thought maybe it was noteworthy. I hadn't said anything. The only thing that he would have known about me is the appearance of my face, the appearance of my armor. It was something that I didn't notice him doing with anybody else. And the only things that people would know in the short time we've been here is who I work for and who I used to work with.
The only other person I know took an instant dislike to you was the Turgical because the Colonel, but the Colonel had obvious reasons. So maybe if you asked the Turgical why he didn't like you up front, maybe that's a similar reason why Father Firebrand doesn't like you up front.
I had not thought about that. Thank you.
And going back to your earlier question about knowledge, I mean, the Imperial Creed teaches us that facts are chains that blind perception and fetter truth, that knowledge is to be feared. But of course, these are, while truisms, the true interpretation is much deeper than that. To say that somebody should never learn a new skill from the moment of their birth is a gross overinterpretation of those particular facts. More what these teachings are to tell us is that those who seek only to expand their mind open its gateways to the unclean. That we each need to acquire the knowledge we need to do our part for the Imperium, but to seek knowledge purely for knowledge's sake is a dangerous, dangerous path.
Well, that's how I understood things to be. I just thought it was noteworthy that I'd been hearing from other people there that wasn't quite the way he was teaching it.
Look, I try to avoid ecclesiastical or ecumenical arguments with the general imperial citizenry, because they don't really have the level of education required to speak with any true authority.
They dumb.
I'm certainly not seeking to spark any sort of debate, sister. I'm not looking to seek more knowledge than I need, but it was an observation I thought may or may not be useful to you.
No, I understand what you're saying, and I agree that, once again, as I said, while nothing they said there is untrue, it treads a line which becomes dangerously close to certain elements.
So
A
with
line that is not my place to consider.
And with that in mind, sister, would it be best to continue with what I know, or should I feel as though he had made some very interesting points that I had not previously considered. I felt like a lot of what he was saying was in line with what I was brought up with. And frankly, he has a certain, dare I say, charisma that almost compels me to come back to more of his sermons just to see what more I may learn and how best to serve the Emperor. But if he is treading as close to the edge as you say, then perhaps I should just remain with what I know. Is I guess is what I'm asking here in a very long roundabout way.
Okay.
Your vehicle begins pulling into the garage to let you all out, and you can see that the garage staff, one of them holds a hand out and begins semi-circling around your vehicle as he says, "I'll see you at the tournament."
3 days? Is that how many days?
We'll see you.
It's 3 days. They're not facing you. Based on the way brackets work, you'll only face them in the finals. But the garage staff seem to think that they're gonna definitely make it there.
I guess just to close out this last thought, then, hate enriches mankind definitely, but the caution here is that mankind has many enemies to hate. You know, we have the alien, the Xeno, those guys over there in the garage. The problem is that when we run out of
I was just thinking the same thing, but I was going to do it to prove the point, not as a counterpoint.
when we are not surrounded by our enemies, we can't go looking for enemies amongst ourselves. He has put a fire of hate in a lot of people, and if they cannot turn their attention towards those that truly threaten the Imperium, they will turn their attention towards those that threaten them only.
So he's got a fire that he can't control, whereas what you're suggesting is a focused hatred specifically for a certain thing, to remove that thing, and then it's done and over with.
I mean, look, a flamer is a precise weapon. A torch thrown through a window is not.
Indeed, I can see where you're going with that analogy, even when AP can't quite.
A flamer is a precise weapon? Under what directive?
Yeah, look, the person that invented the flamethrower clearly was a person that said, I really want to set that thing or that person on fire, but they're all the way over there.
Whereas the torch does seem to be a little bit more indiscriminate. I can't think of indiscriminate. That's what I meant. Well, I suppose we're here. I guess we should go see what the boss has for us today that we don't already know.
Oh, is this the morning or is this the evening? I thought this was
the next
going
morning.
back.
Next morning.
Okay, cool.
You went way late for that meeting, for the book burning, and so when you arrive the next morning, you can see that the chalkboard now says 3 days to basketball game, 8 days of testing left. All of the things that were put on the list yesterday, which include things like unknown time printer tunnel snakes, SEO optimization of Papa Oinker's paperwork. I'm just giving you a sum of them. You accomplished nothing yesterday on this list. And there's a new item that says workplace etiquette regarding food safety and preparation, and it has a star next to it. Liturgical, when you enter the room, is standing next to the refrigerator, looking as upset as someone who wears a blindfold over half of their face can, and says, I know you're all here. Is Rassie with you?
I am here, sir.
We're going to talk today about the shelf life of Void Crisp biscuit and why you can't just leave them in the refrigerator here. My understanding is that you have a baker's dozen of them in this very refrigerator. It is good that they are sealed inside of a plastic, or whatever special word the Imperium has for plastic, container. However, they will not last for more than 1 week, which means you have 6 days to eat all of these Void Crisp biscuits. Wasting food is heretical. So let's just make sure that whatever you're going to do with them, you get it done. Also, he opens the refrigerator and holds up your container. This is not clearly marked. I don't know when this was put in there. I don't know who it belongs to. I need very clear specifications, because anyone could come in here and eat this and there would be no problem with that. Without clear specifications, we cannot charge somebody with workplace abuse or a crime or something. You know, if your date that you've put it in here, date of expiration, and your name is on it, and someone comes in and eats it, we can cut their hands off. All right? That's just how it is. If you're lacking that paperwork submitted properly, and this is basic stuff, guys. This isn't even like Rogue Trader. I can just tell none of you have worked in an Imperium office. Velamris, now I'm starting to see why you rate so low on your...
I think the moment he said anything about paperwork, Velamris is like, well, then we clearly know none of that shit is mine because I'm not doing paperwork.
So would you like a Void Crisp biscuit?
Yes, I would.
Please help yourself.
Take as many as you like. There's a bunch in there.
He opens it up and starts eating all of them. They just start, tastes like my mind. So yeah, he takes his Void Crisp biscuit box and goes and sits down at his desk. You've successfully seen through his ruse.
think Rassie
Yeah.
goes up to the fridge and labels his box.
I don't know. I doubt this is an American thing, but it's definitely a British thing. So it'd certainly be the Warhammer thing is that when you finish a tin of biscuits, you then use that tin to store things like
Oh yes.
Band-Aids or sewing stuff. It becomes
Paper
your
clips.
standard. But yep, exactly. Yep. So we make sure that tin doesn't go to waste.
The
That
danks cookies.
Clear
tin.
plastic container. Yes.
The favorite ones are the blue metallic. I want to say they're Danish cookies. It's like Danks or something like that is on the label. Those are the ones that usually get like all the sewing accoutrement
Yeah.
that grandmothers
Shortbread.
have.
Anything shortbread definitely is destined for
The
sewing.
grandmother tradition.
Look, only here on the office comedy of Warhammer 40K are you going to be able to combine hatred of all things that are non-human and the comedy of office politics. That's all I'm saying, guys. Only with these original ideas. And what original ideas you'll be able to see when we come back in the second third of this particular episode. We'll see you then. Because you're not going anywhere. That would be against the rules. So our group decided to make a bunch of market rolls real quick. So I'm going to imagine what actually happens is they sit down and begin browsing through pick catalogs of weapons and ammunition that have been allotted
Guns
to
and
the
ammo.
rogue trader from, local consignment shops and stuff that, rogue trader personnel, even those that live within the Imperium, might need unusual sets of goods. Local businesses supply. So, like Costcolium. I love that. I'm going to Costco tomorrow. I'm so ready for it. In the process, Liturgical, who just told you need to get your shit together, is mauling in a corner while pretending to sleep, gnawing on his biscuits while sprawled out on his desk, getting crumbs everywhere, looking at all of you just immediately not doing anything except buying pounds of ammunition.
On that note, I'm trying to figure out how I can actually add manstopper bullets to my character sheet.
I think you need to drag them from the compendium into your
I attempted that, and it says custom ammo must be applied to another non-custom ammo type.
Yes,
So
I think
to
you'd have to have like bolter rounds for a gun, and then you drag it on top of that.
Let me see something here. That didn't work. Effects.
Well, Kane, anything you want to do?
I did succeed in finding my armored body glove,
Okay.
and I bought 8 demo charges.
Both of those are delivered within a few hours. The body glove perfectly to your body size measurements. It's kind of spooky, actually. Feels pretty tight.
Yeah, I think while Rassie's moving things around the office, there's the exaggerated movements as he's getting used to the feeling of it being on.
The thing, the servo skull follows you around. Just watches you moving around.
Okay.
So, what's next for our group?
I always have my usual hassle the development team, and then go to my meeting with the father.
Okay.
Did I tell Holly? Did Velamris tell Holly that he was going to go with? Or
Yes.
he wanted to go with?
That's fine. Well, I wanted to borrow your pick recorder anyway. So
Yeah.
Are you going as well, Rassie?
If I'm asked to go, I will.
no, please don't.
Okay. I'll see if I can figure out how to. I'll work on one of these. I'll be on. I've got the bead.
Maybe brainstorm transportation solutions for the porcine with liturgical.
That's kind of what I was thinking I could try to do. I've got all this paperwork already with reference of volumes and schedules. I just need to find ships to put it on.
Well, That means either the Imperial Navy or the Ecclesiarchy. They're the two organizations that have ships other than merchant traders, obviously.
Merchant traders are going to get there very slowly. Okay. What are you just using public transportation to get to Father Firebrand's cult headquarters?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. The two of you arrive outside. You can see that some people have come to worship the outside of the building. It has the look of a bank that's been turned into a restaurant sort of deal. Like, it's clearly a former Prometheum dispensary area, but now you can go to where the pumps are, and they've been replaced with like holy water of the emperor blessings sort of deal, like statues of the emperor that pour holy water out of their mouths as long as you insert a Macarian into the device sort of deal. There's also like a eternally burning torch on top of the building. When you enter, you can hear that Father Firebrand is loudly having a conversation with someone. The secretary of the building is just like, oh, you just need to take a seat over there. The father is in a sort of daily meeting with a young woman again. She keeps coming by here every single day, kind of trashy like. You know the type. We've got some literature spread around just in case you need to revive your faith.
So, grab a seat, Velamris.
Yes, of course.
Sure. Yeah.
I'll turn to the girl. So, tell me more about this woman that keeps coming by.
Oh, she keeps coming by and she just, once I'm going to be honest here. She seems like such a promiscuous woman. She just really wants a lot of what Father Firebrand has, and he's been very clear about his boundaries. He wants to be in a marriage with someone, and she just wants to have a baby immediately. I think I hear her.
What a terrible, terrible person.
I agree. One of these days, I think I might just kill her. I see you laughing, Kain.
Oh, by the way, I also have an axe-shaped wrapped gift with me as well.
Of course. The door opens and Father Firebrand escorts a curvaceous woman out from his office. He's hover hands forcing her out of the room. She's just like, but please, Father, please. We could have such a beautiful child together if only you would just accept my proposal. He says, I've told you once, I've told you again, my faith is strong and I will not break the rules for you or anyone else. We will have chaperone dates and we will do this by the book, by the numbers, not outside of wedlock. Your excess is disturbing to me as much as your lust is. Neither of these are a problem when taken in moderation, but in such a amount together, you need to pray. You need to pray and you need to purify yourself. Please do it again today. She is a redhead, yes. She's got poofy, curly red hair. By the way, motherfuckers.
No, hold on. I'm asking about the one that we're supposed to
YouTube comment
follow.
section came to my defense and was like, ooh, yeah, guys, curvy redhead in Warhammer 40K, that's so rare. And then was like, here's a fucking list of curvy redheads that are canonical in Warhammer 40K. I was like, thank you, chat. Thank you. I know that you see me. Thank you so much. This is not weird. It's not my preference. This is Warhammer 40K canon. Yes, she is a redhead.
Is she the curvy redhead that we're looking for, though?
The the pic capture was not super clear. Would you like to try to take a closer look and make that determination?
I'm definitely going to make a significant PC glance to Sister Holly, who has the talkie skills, to see if we can have a moment with her. But we are here to see the
talkie skills are not the same as awareness skills, which is what I'm asking you. Do you want to make an awareness check?
I will definitely make an awareness test.
Perception. Yeah.
I would
get
like
any
to roll
bonuses on this?
Sorry. I would like to roll intuition people to see if I can tell if she actually has the just been fucked look.
I'll
this
allow
is
you to
for
make
show.
such a roll.
Yeah, because this could all just be for show.
Okay,
So,
sure.
you do your roll first, Emma.
You know what? I'm going to re-roll that.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
Sounding
At this
failure.
point, I am convinced that
You're
it's not
even
her.
less sure now than you were before.
Oh, okay. I rolled a 9.
+4, so impressive success. Here's what you get. This woman has not just been fucked. She is desperate. Desperate about it. There's something in her eyes that makes you think that she's driven to do this. And you can tell that he, Father Firebrand, is deeply uncomfortable with this situation. The final thing you get on both an awareness test and a really good intuition is that there's like a weird smell in the air when that door opens. There's just something about it.
Okay.
Father Firebrand looks over at you, Holly, and is like, a person that I've seen before. Looks at you, Velamris, and he was walking towards Holly, and then sees you there, and he holds out a hand towards you and says, I'm sorry, we haven't met before. I'm Father Firebrand. I'm the leader of this Imperial cult. What's your name, son?
Vel.
Val. He double shakes your hand and says, are you with the sister? Or
I am.
He looks to the secretary, and she's like, I think they're together. Why do the two of you come in my office? Petunia, could you please see Violetta out once again? Make sure she gets to her vehicle safely. Thank you so much, everybody. All right, let's get the two of you in here. What a curious gift-wrapped axe-shaped object you have with you there, sister.
Well, it is a gift. Your talk yesterday inspired me, and I thought that I saw you carry a staff, but I know that the best preachers practice what they preach, and so I wasn't sure whether you had a weapon of, a tool of master construction. So I thought that I would bring this along as a gift.
I'm touched. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. I'll make sure that this is donated to the right person. I myself, there are things that standard Imperial citizens aren't allowed to have, like a Adeptus Sororitas hand flamer, not off-the-shelf equipment someone like me could get. And I would never... The Omnissiah is an aspect of the God Emperor. I would never create my own flamethrower weapon. I've mostly subsided myself with torches of varying levels of pitch and intensity.
Fire is a good way to go when purifying something.
He nods. Yes, indeed.
But if a
turns on an air filter and gestures for the two of you to sit down.
If a member of the Holy Orders of the Sorority specifically were to gift you with a Goblin Diaz pattern hand flamer, you couldn't keep that then?
He has a swivel chair and he swivels it towards you slowly and says, I'm not certain on the rules of that. I think a sister of your order may know more about that than I would. I would not look askance at such a thing. However, I don't know that they sell the ammunition for it openly. That said,
I'm sure it would look good on the wall right there. If you,
I would never.
in lieu of anything else.
No.
Such a tool would be used to dispense the Emperor's justice out among everyone.
Absolutely. I just meant, in case you weren't able to actually use it, commemoration sort of thing.
So yeah, he points over his shoulder at a slogan that is plated in like gold above his chair, like on the wall behind him, that says, "Faith in the Emperor is its own reward."
I think that proper introductions are in order, Father. My name is Sister Holly Van der Velt of the Order of Hallowed Glass. I have come to the Archipelago on a mission from my order to arrange a match of suitable quality between the rogue trader Chaderius Darkwind and a good and faithful member of the Imperium to ensure that his line continues in a way that pleased as a golden throne. Velamris Quineel here is my an associate currently in the service of our duties to the Darkwind trading house. And so we haven't come to you today as representatives of the trading house, merely as interested Imperial citizens who heard your word and are interested in exploring it further. I do quite a bit of theological study. I was wondering if you would mind if I was to record some of this interview, and at any point in time, if you need me to turn the recording off, I'm more than happy to as well. But
that's why you brought your servo skull.
No. The servo skull is he just sort of hangs around. I have a picked recorder here I was going to set up.
Sure, please.
Yeah. The servo skull it's purely aesthetic.
Okay, I choose to believe that.
Right.
In the process, he pulls out a tiny set of reading glasses, and he's got like a piece of parchment and a quill and ink, and he's just making notes while you're talking. He says, "Okay, what would you like to talk about today?"
So obviously my training in the church was specifically in the Order Sororitas, and a part of that really the concept of any levity in decision making around what constitutes faith and what does not is very black and white. There are actions that are permitted and actions that are prescribed, and there is no middle ground, which is fine in a text, but is much harder to apply in reality. Yesterday, you spoke at your talk about the fact that moderation is required when it comes to things that would normally be considered the domain of the archenemy, things like excess of violence and hatred, and you've let us you let the
specifically not hatred, specifically
yes.
not hatred.
Sorry, but clearly the boundary of moderation is much greater when it comes to hatred. I'm curious, given that you spent so much time with a full flock of people who have not received this sort of ecclesiastical training, how do you help them to find the pivot point? How do you help them know where moderation ends and excess begins?
An excellent question. And I'll tell you what I tell all of the members of my flock, all of the lambs. If you feel good while doing it, it's wrong. You're wrong. The only thing you should feel good doing is hatred. There's nothing wrong with a little pride in your work, but if you start to be glad about that pride, if it starts to feel like it's right, it's wrong. You should always feel ashamed of everything, of any thought you have that isn't strictly from the book, written by an Imperial officer.
Okay. Mate, can I pose a hypothetical to you?
I don't answer hypothetical questions.
Okay. Well, let me pose a real question to you.
Okay.
I have a workmate. I don't particularly like him. Nobody particularly likes him. It probably, I don't know if it's quite bordering on hate, but it's probably getting quite close to hate. But he's done nothing that I can point to that is has run afoul of any of my ecclesiastical teachings. But I just don't like the man. How would you help a member of your flock reconcile that in terms of knowing when their hatred is enough to act on it, when it's not just purely a dislike, or it's, do they have to have some sort of suspicion of actual malfeasance, or is the fact that a person rubs you so badly the wrong way enough?
He puts his parchment down on the table, takes his glasses off, and he stands to walk over to a bookshelf and picks up a book and begins to flip through it for a few seconds. And he says, I won't answer a theoretical question. You have said that there is a person that you don't like and possibly hate. And I'll tell you what I'll tell any member of my flock, of my lambs. Bring this man to me. and his faith will be tested. We will see if he is a true citizen in the Imperium or if he's a traitor hiding among us. Who is this man? Name him to me.
His name is Rassie van der Velt.
Okay. I'm going to... Petunia, can you please have someone pick up Rassie van der Velt, please? Thank you. Have him brought here. Somewhere in the machinations and mechanisms of the Imperium, a militia is forming to find a man called Rassie van der Velt right now. They have pitchforks and torches and are wandering the grimdark streets of Cetes Delta, Gamma, and Beta.
You're still in the Rogue Trader compound, yeah?
Yes,
Rassie?
he's in the office.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. All right.
I'm in the office still.
Okay.
They're not going to stop.
He's looking at AAA sites, trying to find a way to transport all those pigs.
With this, what do you hope for the people of Cetes Delta that you lead? Where do you hope that they will find their best life?
In service to the Imperium. We stand at the edge of the God Emperor's light. That's a phrase that I've heard before, and I like that. We stand at the edge. Beyond this point and no further, humanity ends. And that's a shame. That's sadness. Lord Solar Macarius wept when he went past these Sargassum reaches, when he saw that his men were too tired to carry on their mission. And that's a shame. I hope that the people of these islands that can chain our voices together in the way that these islands are chained together and raise them up loud enough that beyond the boundary, humans and any humanists can hear us beyond that. That out in the dark void, the Xenos will know we hate them, the unfaithful will know we hate them, and those who are waiting for humanity to come back for them will know that they only have to trust in time. Our rogue traders are out there and are bringing them back. We're bringing it back into the Imperium. The borders stretch every day.
One of the reasons I ask is that part of our job that we are doing at the moment, we are looking to have a ship bring trade goods here to Cetes Delta. And we are looking at different ships that could do that. And of course, the two main operators of ships in the region are the Navy and the Ecclesiarchy. And of course, the Ecclesiarchy has a number of vessels specifically for pilgrims and specifically for the faithful, let's just say. I was thinking that if we could find some threat that exists within this sector, and I'm sure there are many, and I was to bring a pilgrim vessel here, would the Imperium benefit by directing these people, this flock that we have here, into a militia, into an army an army of the faithful that could be wielded by the Ecclesiarchy to drive home the hammer of faith to the enemies of humanity?
Our following here is somewhat unofficial. I can speak with the more direct, non-militant members of the church and see how they feel about it. I would be glad to undertake this public-private partnership with them. Here at the Cult of the Wrathful Righteous, I believe that bringing any pilgrims here would be a good idea, but let me ask you this. Worlds like Macaria, would it not be better for them to go there? Holy shrine worlds where they can worship. I would not say no to having more faithful here. I would never say that.
I was actually sorry. I was describing the opposite, which was you have built this weapon of faith here.
Oh,
Should it not be wielded?
Where it's needed.
absolutely. I would put forward the call to the wrathful righteous to wherever someone might take us. If we need to join the Frateris militia, we will gladly walk among their ranks with whoever I can bring with me.
And when we left your sermon yesterday, we saw that your word spread like wildfire through the faithful of this station, not just to the few hundred that attended, but we heard
to the people in the streets. I am often shocked at myself how far my word spreads.
Do you have any idea of how large your flock is in reality?
Millions, I'm sure, millions. But there are some out there that are not members of our flock. I have heard whispers of dissidents out there, like the tunnel snakes. My people are looking into these things.
You heard that rumor too. We heard that last night. Yeah,
yes.
We heard that last night. They were the ones that. Yes, I was.
I don't remember seeing you there.
I get that a lot. Don't take it personal. But we had heard that it was the tunnel snakes who had provided all the...
No. We cut sideways to him in the servo skull. He looks at the skull and he goes, and I took that personally. We cut back.
Yeah, my friend is quite unremarkable, and you have so many, and your ability to remember so many of them was truly astounding.
Yes, we had heard that it was the tunnel snakes that had been the source of all of the books and other effects that were burned last night.
I must say, I'm not the most knowledgeable about these street criminals. Do you know anything about these tunnel snakes?
I mean, we've bumped into them once or twice, but I mean, it's a street gang. You walk the streets, you're going to bump into them.
I mean, I've heard they run people off their territory on level 3? Was it their territory? Is that right? Or we're calling correctly, Arthur?
Something like that. So either way, when a sister and a rogue trader's administratum adept bring him the news that these are actually bad people, like this isn't just a rumor anymore. Yeah. This is real. He says, Petunia, cancel move the thing with Rassie backed. Let's have the militia go after the tunnel snakes. Check the upper levels and work their way down. We'll smoke them out. She says, okay. Do you? Oh no, sorry. She was Southern. Should I get the everybody? And he says, yes, get everybody. All the flame weapons, everything we've got. We will literally smoke them out. Let's make sure that they're dead by close of business today.
Velamris points to the axe. Just points. Just doesn't say anything.
Could I make one possible suggestion to you?
Of course. Please feel free to make suggestions.
Well,
I stand in awe of you. You are my religious superior.
But I mean, I'm still a relatively novice sister. You have clearly years of experience of being among the people.
I am no official priest in any way, shape, or form. They call me Father Firebrand as a sort of moniker. I'm just an average man who lives an average life, who saw things that were wrong and told people the way that they should think.
Are you formally trained?
No.
Huh, interesting.
But think, my book smarts, your street smarts. This is I can only see benefit going forward in this relationship. But as I was saying, my erstwhile co-worker, if I was to find him and send him to help your flock dispatch these tunnel snakes, would that be a way to prove his faith?
A testifier? Absolutely. I believe that if I were to see him hunting the unclean and the unjust, that would truly prove his faith. Because who could possibly stand among the faithful and kill the unrighteous? The God Emperor would not allow it.
Indeed. Father Firebrand, I have to thank you for your time today. This has been most enlightening.
He moves to stand over next to you and give you the double handshake.
Yes, thank you for your time, Father. Again, wonderful sermon last night, and
I'm gonna remember your face, Mr. Val. I'm gonna remember your face this time.
Would you accept a benediction?
Absolutely.
All right. I hold up the inquisitorial eye and wave it back and forth and do the sign of Aquila, etc. As part of the benediction, I will go to kiss him on the forehead.
Okay.
If you
It's
don't
kind of
stop
like, okay. I mean, if this is he doesn't say anything, but he kind of pulls away when you start. He doesn't stop you from doing it, but it's clear he's not big into physical touch.
Okay, no worries. Cool. So while we've been here as well, by the way, the smell we picked up, is it? And I know you said you turned on the...
Yes.
Yeah. But could we have picked up anything about what it was?
Do you have... I don't need to ask. I know you don't have. And if I tell you what it is that you don't have, you'll be pretty good idea of what I'm asking you for. So you don't have any way, shape, or form to know that.
Okay, and getting close enough
I'll tell you what. You can make a lore check.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And just you.
And getting close enough as well to smell him, when I go to kiss his forehead, if it's I don't know if it's emanating from him as well, but all right, so I will attempt to fate this to make it with advantage.
Forgot about that.
Yep, yes, all good.
This check lets you know something from psycho indoctrination, something that has been placed in your mind by the Scala, by the cults that run it. You don't know exactly what about the smell in this situation is triggering you, but you know that you need more information that you don't have. This situation for you is like Gandalf being like, oh, is this the one? This is a magical ring. I need more information. I'm going to spend like 30 years going to...
She's going to do a 30-year
going to the
deep
white
dive.
tree and going to the library there and figuring it out. Yeah, like you're like, I need more information. This is triggering something inside me that I need to know more about. Why do you keep saying patchouli? It's Petunia. Her name is Petunia.
No, he's talking about the scent.
The scent, yeah.
Patchouli is a scent? I thought it was the name of one of Lawson's favorite characters from Toho.
It's I'm pretty sure
is it a scent?
spice or something.
Do you mean potpourri?
No, patchouli is a flower.
All right. I don't... Oh, you're right. Patchouli is a... Okay, I was just like, why is this Toho bullshit showing up? I was like, what happened? Did Lawson get to these people? All right. Patchouli's a real flower. Now I know.
Yeah.
It's not well, my personal opinion is it's not a very pleasant smell.
Okay.
It's not a bad smell. It's just not at all good.
All right. It's used in perfume, but it's like, what do they call it? Is it an ester? An ester is like the state of a hydrocarbon before it becomes ethanoic acid, which is where it smells really, really, really bad.
Okay.
Like all hydrocarbons, when they reach this certain point, the hydrocarbon chain becomes so foul-smelling. I remember at my school they had an ester inside a glass jar, inside a glass jar, inside a glass jar, and they took the top cap off and let it smell, and it was so foul.
Surstrumming. Those who know.
All right, cool. I think we're done here then. We need to hurry. We need to hurry back to.
He shows you
in
out.
the meantime, I'm using all my video editing skills to take the picked recording we have of this to try and make a fairly good advertising pitch on why a imperial ecclesiarchy ship should come here to get this, million-strong band of faithful who are ready to wield the hammer in the emperor's name. Yeah, and while they're coming, they may as well pick up some Cruel's porcine for us.
since you're going out anyway.
Well, I like how you're putting together this plan with the full expectation of Rassie's complete and utter failure.
Amazing. Rassie, let's cut back to you. How you doing?
Rassie's gonna try to see if he can set up some transportation for this porcine.
How do you want to do that?
I would like to start by trying to see if I can invite a representative of the Navy to a conversation.
A representative of the Navy to a conversation. Very well.
The Spacing Guild.
Also of note, because Rassie's taking the sister's words very with a lot of thought, he is going to take off his armor, and try to wear. I guess he's just gonna try to wear robes or something he can find to wear.
You work for a rogue trader. They definitely
Yeah.
have a costuming department for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he just walks in and says,
Wardrobe.
I would like to wear normal office clothes, whatever that is.
Someone from behind a sheet says, "From which planet, sir? From which planet?"
From my homeworld, maybe.
And that world is?
Elysia.
All right. The sheet begins approaching you on like little hover grav. And you hear the sound of like tape measures coming out, and the sheet goes away, and it's a dude who's wearing like a monocle and a steampunk hat, like a cowboy hat with little steampunk attachments, and like a little cuckoo clock coming out. Their face is painted clown white, you know what I'm talking about? And they have this huge beard to go with their puffy pirate shirt, and they say, "Magnificent. I will make you look like the most common peasant in all of the Elysium." And with, let's begin there. You end up looking like your average Imperial citizen from just about any world.
Okay.
But you look damn good doing it.
Yeah, it's a new thing for Rassie. I mean, Rassie was in the PDF really young, so yeah, that's what he wants to do that instead of wearing
Imperial Guardsman armor.
Yeah,
and you're putting the Bardi glove underneath it.
Yeah.
Look, if you can get the Imperial Navy on board and I can get the Ecclesiarch on board, we can then have the two sides compete for the contract.
Oh, that'd be neat.
How do you want to go about contacting the Imperial Navy? Because the Imperial Navy is just like the regular U.S. Navy. You can't just call the desk officer.
1-800-GO-NAVY.
Yeah, 1-800-GO. If you call 1-800-GO-NAVY, they're going to be like, "Why aren't you in the Navy, son?" Let's talk about how we're sending someone to your current location that we're backtracing to what's it called when you draft someone into a Navy? Dragooning.
Oh, Dragoon, yeah.
Oh,
Impress.
Impress. Yeah, we're sending the Impress service to your location now.
I'm trying to pull up our list of assets right now. Which note thing did I put that in? I know that's a me problem.
So I will tell you from my notes if you like.
Sure.
So we have 10 million solars hard currency, 5-minute conversation with the Sector Lord, 100 suits of well-maintained power armor, 5 years of service at the Guild of Infomongers of Hive Valios on Persephone, a working set of planetary weather stabilization satellites, an invitation to the Mavin's auction on Mysterion, and 2 million heads of Quilter's porcine.
Okay. All right. So I think he's going to reach out as a representative of the trading house.
Okay, so this is now an official conversation.
Right. So he's trying to organize an official conversation, and he's going to reach out to, using his knowledge of time getting on and off of ships, he's going to try to send it to where he thinks Navy supply is going to be, and have a message sent.
Saying what?
That the Darkwind trading house is interested in having a conversation about logistics for the benefit of mankind.
Wow, you need to work on your sales skills.
I mean, Rassie, this is all new for Rassie. Rassie's trying to.
There is a limited time opportunity to have a conversation regarding a position we have coming up. You know, please let us know immediately if you're interested in pursuing this.
Immediately will be bolded, underlined with 3 exclamation points.
And highlighted.
Half the words will be misspelled.
And because
spaces are running out.
And because this is undoubtedly going to go horrifically badly, Rassie wants to try to figure out, trying to figure out some way to get an approximate value of the ship munitions that we need to get.
Interesting. I don't think you need to make a roll for that. You can just work with liturgical. I don't have that number for you because such numbers don't exist. Yes, the number appears.
Okay.
Number appears.
I would need you to make
It's always off camera. It's always them pointing at the screen off camera.
I mean, look, George R. R. Martin agrees. When you start putting numbers on paper in terms of like battles and such, you really take yourself out. You know, like saying they were outnumbered 2-1 is a lot more evocative than being like 12,000 men who had this many cows and horses gathered on the battlefield against 6,000 men who are armed thusly. Like, you lose a lot. People who aren't knowledgeable about such things get pulled out. So what I'm going to ask for is
all I'm saying is if at some point during this campaign someone doesn't open up a briefcase with a gold glow from it and someone else says, "Is that what I think it is?" that, you know, we're not doing it right.
Well, we haven't had the opportunity yet where someone says you should come take a look at this rather than just tell you what it is.
Yeah, that's true.
I need a rapport fellowship roll with a specialization in inquiry if you have it, or your
a rapport roll.
Yes, for Navy supply. Yeah, it turns out that I'm sure I don't need to tell you that the best people in the armory to know are all personable people.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and spend a fate because I think we're all gonna want the chance for me to reverse these dice.
Okay.
Difficulty?
I'm just gonna set it at +0 for now.
Hey! I didn't check the box, but I didn't need it, so I...
Okay. +2. You get a message back about 2 hours later indicating that you have an appointment at 5 p.m. precisely with Commodore Dressagius Equine to discuss this venture.
All right, Commodore...
I will send you the name on Discord.
Okay. Horse.
I'm glad somebody got the joke.
Okay.
Around the time you finish doing this, Holly and Velamris re-arrive, coming back. You can see, as you're pulling into the garage, we can see, like, in the streets outside the building, there's, like, 5 guys walking in the middle of the street, stopping vehicles, checking people for tunnel snake tattoos, and then, like, waving them forward. The whole level has descended into chaos as people are taking justice into their own hands.
Amazing.
It's extremely disruptive to the commerce of the local area.
I wonder if maybe I should have grabbed my sniper rifle in case of some sort of action here.
Folks at home, this is how you know that this is an Imperium fantasy, because someone saw a militia forming and thought the way to de-escalate the situation would be to get a large gun.
Well, no, because Velamris is
That's
thinking
also how
like...
you know Omar's American.
No, because I think Velamris is thinking, like, if these guys are going out actively hunting down the tunnel snakes, and the tunnel snakes get a wild idea of attacking the rogue trader house, Velamris is going to want to be able to at least take a shot before the local security takes them out.
What? I mean, you can suspect they're going to attack the rogue trader house. I don't know why you would think that would happen.
It is a bit of an
because we're this
offshot.
close to the forever purge, Arthur.
Okay, the
Purge.
All crime is now legal.
Welcome back. I have secured a meeting with a Commodore in the Imperial Navy.
All right, I've secured a meeting between you and the tunnel snakes. with an army of axe wielding maniacs at your back.
I like this. He's just nods like, I like
Velamris
this.
is gonna.
Why don't I do yours while you do mine?
Velamris is gonna look at Rassie and just be like, "Listen, the sister says she doesn't like us, she hates us, but I feel like right now she did that for you." And I'm just gonna chuckle as I go into the refrigerator and grab a tin of Void Crisps for myself.
They're going.
And no, that's literally what he's gonna stand there with the door open. He's like, "What the shit? They were all here this morning. What happened?"
Liturgical just says, "You said I could have as many as I wanted."
Yeah, that's it. Said it yourself with my exact words.
I wanted them all.
Well, were they good?
Yes, they were amazing.
Is there any other unmarked food there? You can.
There is a series of noodles with meat dishes that say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with Liturgical's name on it.
Oh, but he's got his name on it, though. Is there anything where, like, because of the cold air, the label's peeling off, like the glue's going, you can just sort of accidentally knock the label off, and then
No,
that's free
James.
game?
No, he's precise. He's a machine.
No, Liturgical might be, but it's only our group's fridge.
Yes, it's only for this office.
Okay. Okay. Are there other fridges in the building?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a whole snack department
James.
in the other room.
You guys are going to end up hanging from a noose.
So I'll tell you, true story here. The company I work for, when I actually go to the head office, it is so far away from anything, and there's no food nearby that the company buys lunch for everybody that goes to work there every day. So the day beforehand, you make your lunch order, and it gets delivered to the site at lunchtime. But because I go there so regularly, I always forget to order my lunch the day before. So when I go there and lunch comes, I hang around the lunch area to see if there's any unclaimed food, or I go and check fridges to see if people didn't finish their lunch afterwards. That's how I how I scavenge.
You're riding the line here, James. You're riding such a line.
Because there's always people as well that order food and then don't have to go to work the next day, so there's always leftovers. But
sure,
it's like how long have I waited long enough that this person's not going to claim it and it's now free game or not?
They're getting dangerously close to that when the food goes bad. When you're doing that too.
He's saying the same day though, within a few hours.
Well. Yeah.
He's not waiting a week and then being like, all right, well,
up to you.
Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, James. This is the most disappointing thing I've ever heard about you. Thank you for sharing it. He's like a fucking hawk. It's like, ooh, no one got that soy sauce meal. Oh boy, I'm moving in.
It's more like a seagull, but
A seagull, an animal well known for stealing food from people. Wow, that's crazy.
That's it. Mine.
Okay. I am going to need Rassie to make a at disadvantage awareness sight roll to see if he can find the tunnel snakes before any other group does.
I thought I was supposed to be going with them.
I thought that Holly and you were switching jobs.
Well, so that Rassie's going to go kill the tunnel snakes with the mob.
Yes. For he and his group of mobsters to get there first, you have to make the awareness roll at disadvantage because there's so many groups looking to murder them.
Okay.
I mean, they're spread out on it though as well. So, but
yes.
He's been to their base. We got taken to their base before, so he knows where to go exactly.
That is true.
No,
okay.
Did we go to their base or did we went to a third-party location, I thought? The parking garage with the kin bottle, or whatever the heck their name is.
Kin hard bottle.
I thought we were leaving there and going to their base at one point as well. When we met with their leader then, who told us about the
No, that was all at Kin Hard Bottles.
Okay, all right.
You haven't been to their actual base yet. Rassie, I'm going to need that.
At least I know what the territory is.
You can cancel disadvantage with advantage. Yeah. Just like Dungeons and Dragons.
Is there anything we could use with Velamris's escapade of travel?
Knowledge of the place that you're going to sell.
I'll give you
that applied to the group, didn't it?
Plus 10.
Okay.
For the roll.
I thought that gave us advantage.
No, it gives you. Give you or gives you +1 SL.
Have an advantage on intelligence, lore, and navigation tests for having scouted the surroundings, home, and office.
I'll spend my fate to cancel the disadvantage, and I'll gladly take my +10.
Okay. You hunt, going dark.
Like, oh wait, hold on, and puts his contacts in. All right, I'm ready.
What's it called in Riddick? He got an eye shine job.
Yeah.
Impressive failure.
Your reroll.
Like
You got one fate
that.
left.
It's a critical failure too, right? Because it's a 77.
Yeah, I'm gonna reroll that.
Okay.
Tell snakes find you.
This is your last chance. It's your last dance.
Oh, right. But you haven't got a fate point to increase it to 1 SL.
No.
Okay.
They're just doing laps. The two groups are doing laps around each other. They're like each one of them is like one turn behind or ahead of the other one.
Is that with the +10, by the way? I don't know if you added that. I can't tell from your roll.
Yeah, because either way it's a 33. Yeah.
Okay.
Unfortunately, yes.
All right.
That's heartbreaking.
You arrive on the outskirts of a compound where you can see people are throwing Molotov cocktails in, burning gangsters alive. They're all screaming like, ah, ah, ah. You could see the Wanderer backlit by flames, scar over her face, like half her body is melting, and she's just like headshot after headshot. She's the most incredible marksman you've ever seen. It's almost like she's guided by some unknown system, murdering people left and right. Militia folk are running towards her with like clubs, axes, and bottles. Ah! You arrive, you come to the edge of the compound. One person gets her in her liver and she falls forward. Blah, and she dies. Just as you arrive, and Father Firebrand turns and sees you arriving late and goes, sees him. What do you want to do, Rassie? As the militia troops around you are like, yes.
I mean, the sister said this guy's not heretical. Hey, did you fill me in at all on why I was showing up here? Or were you like, hey, just go person people?
Maybe.
Doing a flashback?
Am I aware that this is supposed to be a test?
Probably not. I probably wouldn't have outed that I had
Oh god!
Because I found the perfect solution. So why worry about the problem when you've already got the solution?
We have a brief aside, and it's just Holly going, should I have told him that part? Nah, he'll be fine. He can shoot. He's fine.
Oh boy. Well, then
you should have just turned the flame on some random people and said they were tunnel snakes too. I mean, by the time they're completely immolated, they can't defend themselves.
I'll tell you what. If you want a last chance, point at some random person who's come to this site and is like peeking around a brick building to like look at what's happening. Be like, he's a tunnel snake, and burn them alive. I'll let you make a rapport roll, but I have to tell you, failure is going to have big consequences. Success is just going to keep you from being persecuted.
Can I argue presence?
In what way?
Instead of trying to be reasonable and be like, hey, it's all good. I found a traitor over there. He's trying to use sort of like a force of presence to be like, I am right. I am doing right. Check this out.
Okay.
Sort of like when he's trying to like do his leadership to just be like,
well, it's going to be a leadership specialization. Okay. Failure here will have bad consequences. Success is just going to get your head off the chopping block.
And you've got less than a 50-50 chance. Do you want to do this, or do you want to take your chances with the role play?
Well, if I, no matter how I roleplay it, I'm making a skill roll, and I'd rather make presence than with fellowship.
His fellowship's low like mine.
It's not as low as yours, but it's not as good.
Unbelievable. If you are listening and not watching right now, he rolled a 1.
I just like point over at it like a group of people, like, there's more there. And I bought a flamethrower, so I just start bathing them in fire.
All right. Father Firebrand looks at you doing that, and he strokes his chin and says, good, good. And the camera zooms into his eyes, and in their reflection, we see Rassie. Like, people are leaping to capture Rassie, and then he whips out the flamethrower in slow motion, and the people getting close to him are like, ah. And then they're like, ooh, approving. Flamethrowing random civilians. Good. You sacrifice...
especially the ones that run away, because they're clearly guilty.
Yeah. You sacrifice random civilians who've done nothing wrong except be at the scene of a crime and observe it, and you burn them to death, and it gets you out of a problem. The last part of this scene, which we will do much later, is Father Firebrand approaching you and putting a hand on your shoulder and says, I recognize you. You're Rassie Van Lucht, then.
I think you're muted.
Oh,
No, just didn't come in. Okay, my bad.
I don't remember that's his name.
Put the flamer down. Walk with me, and let's speak for a while. I could use a man of your talents.
put out the pilot light and start walking.
Okay, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, rather than do that conversation, we're going to Holly and Velamris. Stick around for the third. Listen, it would be heresy if you didn't. It's an inquisitorial order.
Right.
Yep.
Welcome back to the third.
I do like that was a genuine nat one there, but not like a Beth May rolling half her dice nat ones in Dungeons and Daddies. Sorry, Arthur, continue. Tell me I'm lying.
I have no comment. It's an entertaining podcast that is vaguely Dungeons and Dragons-ish. And they have never made any attempt to say otherwise. You are right. Someone must have closed their camera or left because everyone did get moved around. Let's see here. Well, let's fix it. A simple solution. You are in the offices of a Imperial officer. They have a flag and an indication of the local Navy garrison. For Commodore Dressagers Equine, she appears to be the commanding officer of all Imperial Navy forces here on all of the cities. You've noticed that Imperial Guardsmen, in fact, are not the local patrol on Beta, Gamma, and Delta. CITES Alpha appears to be, Imperial Guard territory, and Navy armsmen seem to take the local patrol routes when it is not handled by other forms of law enforcement, or let's call it what we're currently seeing, civilian intervention in crime. A lieutenant stands up and gestures for you to head into the Commodore's office. She's seated behind a desk, and there are several servitors in here that are bringing her paperwork, waiting for her to sign it, and then taking it away. So it's servitor on one side, servitor on the other side, as a lot of things are being signed, rubber stamped. There are old wood, finely carved bookshelves all along the walls here. Carpeting is beautiful. It's much less stark and utilitarian than the camp of Lord Colonel Renard. Well, he was himself a guilt man. There is class and nobility in this room, old money and old style. The Commodore looks at the servitors and says, "Stop. We will return later. Leave us. Two of you, Which one of you is veteran Sergeant Rassie van Lucht?
Neither. I've had to stand in on his behalf as he's been called away to another mission of engagement, but I can speak about what he was to speak with you on.
Very well. Barely acceptable.
Lord Commodore, thank you for your very precious time.
It's Commodore.
Yes, Commodore. My name is Sister Holly Van der Velt of the Order of Hallowed Glass. We come to you with two things that we are seeking that we hope to make some arrangements on. First is that our employer needs to transport a large quantity of porcine from the planet Crueltus to here, approximately 2 million heads. A merchant vessel will not get it here in the time frame required because it's to launch a further expedition from the archipelago. The second is that we are looking to procure macro cannon shells for Mars and Stygies pattern macro cannons for the expedition. I know that obviously the Department of Munitorium stocks out the Imperial Navy, but I suspect you may have some need to turn over aged stock after a period of time. And I was hoping if you had full storehouses, we could come to some arrangement to potentially buy some of your munitions.
She stands up. Uniform is immaculate. Moves before a wall and taps on something, and the whole wall becomes a massive window looking out over the Navy yards. And you could see the ships there being rearmed and such. She clasps her hands behind her back and says, "Who's this man with you?"
This man is Velamris. Sorry, go ahead.
I am Velamris Quineel. I am a co-worker with the sister here.
This man can be trusted, sister?
Yes, he is an adjunct of the Adeptus Administratum.
Normally I would have ammunition reserves that I could turn over to you, but a few months ago, before my tenure began, a rebellion of members of the Blood Pact. Well, let's begin at the beginning. Several Imperial Navy vessels engaged in heretical vessels of members of the Blood Pact, a sort of pseudo-Imperial Guard chaos offshoot. They left behind literature and compromised individuals who caused the local garrison to have uncreditable thoughts. Several of these groups were eliminated, but one of them stole a large number of munitions. Some of them seem to be the exact munitions you're looking for, and made off with them. We have been hunting them for some time. I'm afraid without those munitions, I cannot give you what you want in that regard. How much movement are you looking for these? Did you say it was porcine?
Yes, 2 million heads moved from Crueltus to this station.
My understanding is that porcine are very dirty animals. Any transports that carry them would require a deep cleaning afterwards. Is this correct?
You clearly know more about porcine than I'm familiar with, but they're your ships, of course, so you know what the needs of the ships are better than us.
It would take a lot of influence to corral a number of transports into a convoy with proper guard and then ship them from Crueltus to this location. You indicate a merchant vessel is unable to do so. What's your time frame?
No, it's 3 months, is it? Sorry, Scott, or was it?
6 months total.
6 months total. Okay, so I'm going to say 3 months.
Okay. That is very fast. Very fast indeed.
I can probably swing 1 month an additional if necessary to allow for currents of the warp and the like.
She pivots around on one of her heels to look at you and says, "And what do you offer up front as the cost for this endeavor?"
We have trade goods, both tangible and intangible. It would depend upon what the Imperial Navy itself will benefit most from. If it's hard currency, we have a hard limit. If it is other things, I can send you a data slate with what we have potentially available to offer.
I'll take that data slate. But rogue traders are often capable of interesting contributions to Imperial society. I know that many Imperial Navy members are jealous or apprehensive about working with them, but I'll take whatever tools I can get out here at the edge. So let me say this. If you can find these heretical members who have stolen ammunition from us and return them to me alive so that the location of my ammunition can be returned to me, I would be deeply appreciative, and I would be willing to overlook certain costs involved in your endeavor. We side cut to the Wanderer being burned to death right now.
Velamris was sitting there definitely trying to figure out how to phrase that the Tunnel Snakes were involved, but not the rogue traders needing
just to be clear,
the
there's absolutely no way to complete this quest because not only is the ammunition already on the rogue traders' ships, but everyone who knows about it's dead.
All right. We'll put every resource our Lord has towards this, but given the timeframes involved, I'll still need to send you across what we have available, only because if we can't resolve it in the timely manner, I would still need to make the arrangements to be resolved within 3
begins
months.
taking a look at your, top level list, and she says, "The Maven's auction. You have an invite to that."
Yes.
She lists a truly astronomical price, and to your ears, but it sounds kind of standard issue to Velamris, I think, for the cost of a warp traveling 2 million Krultus porcine. But for you, Holly, you're like, wow, that's a lot of Magarians to. But for Velamris, you're like, that's a small logistical concern. Yeah, that's about right.
We could always buy our own ship for that. Yeah, who's going to fly, kid?
Yes, you understand exactly.
Yeah.
The artists can charge as much as they want because they have to get the payment back for all the time they spent learning to get as good as they were now.
Yeah, it's the hammer on the cruise ship thing. Have you heard that story?
Yeah, no, but I can't wait to hear about it. But the price the rogue trader is capable of paying, it does seem a little high. She is willing to take that Maven's auction off your hands in arrangement for all of
it. And that's instead of the value. Is it cash plus that, or is it just
cash plus that? Cash plus that.
And what sort of cash is she talking about?
Like billions of solar Macarians to get this done.
Okay, which we don't have. So
the rogue trader has millions. The rogue trader has it, and it's about what It's about what Rassie's numbers would say should be expected to move this kind of cargo.
Okay, no worries. We had approximately 10 million to play with.
Right.
So
that was probably more of a slush fund sort of thing, that 10 million. Whereas the numbers that she's talking are within the reach of the rogue trader.
The reach of what you're looking for, and it's a somewhat reasonable price for a rushed order.
So we'll obviously go away now and try and see what we can do about locating your lost munitions. But if that doesn't go through, then I'll be back in contact very soon about.
I want the officers and ratings attached to that munitions as well. They will be taught the price of their transgression and used as icons what not to do.
Indeed.
Like I said,
I do have a question. Oh,
sorry.
Go ahead, James.
There you go. You got a question.
Well, yeah, I didn't want to. I was saving the question more for the end of the meeting. So,
well, I was going to say that we'll put every resource towards finding those munitions, as we said.
Very well.
Commodore, if I may, I have a quick question. Feel free to, if you don't know the answer, that's fine. And he will show the pics that he has of the quote-unquote curvaceous redhead from the Imperial Guard. And
is this your girlfriend?
No. I was just curious, perhaps she is allegedly related to Xenos trading Xenos materials. I was just wondering if perhaps
you're talking about the cold trade?
Perhaps more artifact than living or recently living. My question was more if anybody in your intelligence staff might have any sort of information that might help us out in attempting to gain more information about her.
Our people have no connection to the cold trade.
Sure. I meant more of information that can help us find her or more about her. Certainly not trying to imply that the Imperial Navy would be involved in cold trade. That would be ludicrous.
It's a classic ChatGPT fake, I want to know where this is. I can't tell you this. Okay, I want to know where not to find that. Okay, don't go and look here.
She picks up the pic He walks back over to the open window and says, I can task some of my intelligence officers and their agents to search for this woman. What are you willing to give me in exchange for this? You're talking about a lot of manpower that could be used for other objectives.
Well, he's kind of Velamris is definitely going to be looking at Holly like, I need your help because I can't talk.
I mean, she's already got a list of what we have. So if not on that list, then it's only what you can produce.
Yeah. So, well, to be honest, you have the data slate. This is what we have to offer and trade. If you're not willing to assist on this, no harm, no foul. I was just reaching out on a bit of a tangent to see if you had information that would help us.
I mean, what maybe you could try to offer your services and your connections in Administratum to try to help with some sort of process.
That's actually not a bad idea.
That would save man hours while you're asking for man hours.
Perhaps, Commodore, some sort of well-placed words within the Adeptus Administratum, or perhaps a free check of paperwork being submitted to ensure that everything is in order.
Our
to
paperwork
expedite
is
your
immaculate, young man.
I'm sure. I'm just looking for ways that maybe we could expedite the process of restocking your
Are you
ammo.
suggesting that the Administratum would not expedite Imperial Navy requests? Is this the official position of the Administratum?
The Administratum lives to serve, of course, as we all do. Sometimes mistakes are made, though. Or
and a member
perhaps,
of a rogue traders cohort has the sort of movement necessary to priority process my requests.
I could certainly take a look inside the paperwork and perhaps find ways to get it moved up the chain faster.
This is not a request, young man. This is an order. If you want me to look for your missing young woman, you will make it happen.
I can only do so much.
You'll do the job that you've just agreed to.
As you say. As you say.
The two of you are dismissed.
Thank you for your time once again.
Thank you, Commodore. I'm gonna make sure I take my picks back. I can leave a copy if she needs them.
Okay. Rassie, you're walking with Father Firebrand. In the background, we just hear people that were deeply injured being burned to death, begging for their lives, screaming. Someone's like, no, please, no, I'm a member of the God Emperor. I see the light. Please forgive me. Probably like 24 cult members, like wide-eyed nodding as they're burning people, like, yes. And you hear someone start chanting, hate, 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 hate. People are setting fire to random stuff in the Tunnel Snakes compound, and like random shells are going off. They hit an armory, and like the door gets blown off, and it kills one of the cult members, who gets sandwiched against a wall with the metal door on them. And people are like, he was a hero. He served the Imperium as a martyr. They begin burning his body as well. Father Firebrand, while walking with you, is like, it's a wonderful night, isn't it? Rassie van Lucht.
It is.
You know, when I'm near you, I hate you. I get the feeling that there's something wrong with you. When I look at you, that feeling is confirmed. At least the last time I saw you, you had the good common sense to be wearing an Imperial Guardsman's outfit, but now you just look like some sort of common street trash.
I mean, he would have, if he was being sent to go murder people, he would have put his armor back on.
He put his armor, okay. Then reverse that conversation. And he says, you know, when I look at you, I hate you. I see you despoiling the uniform of the God Emperor. It fills me with disgust, but I have to say this. I saw what you did tonight, and actions are more important than feelings in some cases, in some rare cases. It's clear that you're one of us. You're one of the good guys. So whatever feelings I have that I'm getting from you, I'll put them aside. I want you to come work for me.
My unit is currently assigned to the Darkwind Trading House.
I don't care.
What I can say is that idle hands are hands not serving the Emperor. The times that I have that I can spend to do more good work, I would be interested in doing so.
Good. I could use someone to help train my people. Do you have any skill as an instructor?
I do.
I'm looking to have my flock trained in urban operations, going door to door with flamethrowers, rooting out the impure, clearing the area and purifying it, without causing too much injury to themselves or Imperium technology and equipment.
This all makes sense.
Good. It would seem that the sister's faith in you is well placed.
Is there a member of the militia that I should work with?
Me.
Okay.
When you find your free time available, come to this address. It's my local headquarters. I'll see to it that you are properly equipped to do your teaching job. And I'll make sure that the minds that come to you are pliable. But you'll be watched just to make sure that you're still as pure and faithful as I hope you are. Everyone's watching somebody.
Rassie just shrugs and says, all of our lives, we are constantly being watched by the Emperor.
In the background, the servo skull is still following the two of you.
I look forward to working with you more in the future.
I wish I could say the same. I'll find your presence tolerable.
Then
he turns, and we can see that the four people that you flamed down, the four innocents, their bodies are... somebody's putting the bodies out and, like, dragging them into a pile to be loaded into the back of a car and then unsatisfactorily being shot into space for a funeral. Do you feel anything looking at these four people who you betrayed? Four random Imperial citizens?
Feels it right down in his soul. Oh, wait.
right? Yeah,
He can certainly think he has a soul, but, you know.
Yeah, I think Rassie's thinking about this and thinking about, should this cult come to blows with the rogue trader, then more than four loyal citizens may have their future contributions shortened. So this was a trade for the Emperor, a trade for the Imperium.
Okay. So you feel justified in these murders?
Yeah.
Okay. You stare out, looking over them, feeling nothing but justification in your heart. What do you guys want to do next?
I'm going back to the trading house.
Yeah, I'm assuming I'm back at the trading house at some point. I want to do a data delve on the curvaceous redhead,
okay,
and see what kind of information I can find. I also feel like doing one.
Just to be very clear, you've heard her name.
But you could try and do something. Oh, that's right. Was the name? If we assume it's the same person, it was like not Victoria. It was a V name.
Violet.
Violet. Yeah.
It's not her.
Well, I mean, you could look.
That's right. You don't know that it's her, but between you and me, audience, it's her.
Yeah. Well, I think
it's definitely. I mean, people in the audience were like, "It's definitely her."
and by the way, Velamris, you walked yourself into that issue there with the Commodore. I couldn't walk you back out. I'm sorry.
It is, as they say, it is, sister. This is why I should usually just, I don't know, keep my mouth shut and pretend I'm not there and just watch and learn.
All right.
Clearly, your talkie skills are much better than mine.
I'm going to give you a book on disc personalities. I want you to study how to work with a D. That'll help you out in future interactions with the Commodore.
The two of you, as you're getting back to your desk, see that Rassie is there, but you each have a message indicating that there's a message waiting for you at the Ad Astra Telepathica for both of you. For you, Holly, it's from Palatine Hope Gracewell, and for you, Velamris, it is from Ordinate Barnaman Hoveler.
God, he wants to ignore it so bad. He hates that guy. And I was waiting for you to say Barnum Bailey. I
Why would I say that? Because that's not his
it's
name.
what I would say for his name.
I know that's what you would say, and that would be wrong. We're gonna need to get down with HR and talk about workplace harassment of calling your boss the wrong name. Okay, you've been warned about this. We have it on paper.
I don't want to talk to this guy. All right, what's his
you're
message?
not talking to him. It's a message.
No, I know.
Sent.
Yeah.
I mean, they want you to go there and pick it up in person. They're the Ad Astra Telepathica, not messengers.
I will do
so like Comstar, got it.
They're like Comstar, yes. So the question is, do you want to do the thing you said you were going to do, or are you going to go pick the message up?
Well, I'm going to do the data dive first.
Okay.
And I was going to do two separate ones. One, for Curvaceous Redheads, and then one for Violet, whatever her name was. And then realize probably along the way that they're one and the same, but we'll figure that out with the dice rolls. What is this? Lore? Is that
it's
the skill
logic
rolling?
investigation.
Okay, logic, and I have advantage with the data dive, or whatever the talent is.
You have advantage to find a document or archive, analog or digital.
Yep. And I got a 45 against a 52.
The question is, are you doing this here?
I'm doing...
Or are you doing it at the Administratum?
I'll do it at the... Ooh, the Administratum might not be happy to see me again.
You mean you just got a message from your boss and you're ignoring it, and you think that the Administratum might be concerned if you go in and start using their resources? You think that might be a concern?
Well, not so much that I'm ignoring the message. It's the... All right. Yeah, I guess we're going to have to do both. Two birds, one stone sort of thing.
So are you going to the Administratum office to make this roll?
Yes.
Then there's no penalty to it, and that is successful. You go in, people look askance at you because no one here recognizes you. And these people have worked together basically their entire lives. You grab a random...
Carry clipboard, though. So you look like you
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Of course,
data slate.
Like
it's a data slate.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a data slate.
Unfortunately, you don't have the robes saying that you're a Imperium OSHA inspector. You look like a guy
I think everybody could be an Imperium OSHA inspector. That's the trick.
It's just like the Inquisition. You never know who it is.
Unfortunately, you don't have that level of swagger to you because you're unrecognizable or whatever.
Unremarkable. Yeah.
Unremarkable. So, yeah, you get plenty of askance looks. No one stops you, but you pull into an empty terminal in the same way that James would pull up to somebody's empty lunch. You begin looking things up. You like that callback? I'm balding about that situation. I don't know that I've ever been upset at James, but I'm maybe a little peaked right now. I'm like, stealing a man's lunch, provided by the company, no less. What if they wanted it the next day? What if they just waited for someone to leave it in a refrigerator so they could eat it the next day? Because they were late to work that day, or their kid got sick. And you know what? I'm not going to keep following this.
They'll get free for the next day anyway as well. So,
but what if they wanted to double dip? Velamris, you find that this woman, her name is Violetta. You get, the Imperial Guard has no intelligence on her because she's not a member of the Imperial Guard. You do find that several informers to the Imperium have said that she is a faithful woman, chaste, respectful, a member of the Imperial cult, that she sees Father Firebrand. You have her address. And on a +1, I think you find that she has a boyfriend that is a member of the Imperial Guard, and you find out he was recently executed for contact with a Xenos object. Unregistered contact with a Xenos object.
All right, and I have address or contact information, or
Yeah.
and obviously I know the connection now because once I see the name and he'll put it all together that she was the
It's
one.
the same person. Yeah.
Yeah. So now he's trying to figure out what the connection there is, but we'll jump that bridge at another time. Let me see the rest of my notes here. Does she have are there any other contacts or anything that Velamris could follow up with?
I mean, she's got a full family here and a list of people that informers have said that are members of her faith and flock. There are a lot of records saying that she has unusually been seeing Father Firebrand recently in like the last 2 to 3 weeks, like many repeated visits. But just a lot of notes that she's a good Imperial citizen. The things you'd see in any good Imperial citizen's file. Occasional questions about how faithful she is that are mostly answered by, well, she hasn't committed any heresy recently, so she's probably good. Keep an eye on her. Keep an open mind.
Yeah. All right. So Velamris is going to be skimming through all of this, and he's going to start coming up with an idea. He's going to probably want to sit down with her, not necessarily on the up and up, because he's curious about the connection to the Xenos artifact thing that the Colonel wants taken care of and resolved. The fact that her
that's
boyfriend,
not exactly what he said to you, but all right.
well, I believe his words were bring her in for questioning or destroy her. Literally destroy was the word used,
and bring proof of it.
and bring proof of it. So now he's like really wondering what this entire connection is, and it seems like on paper she seems to be almost a model citizen. So now Velamris is really curious to see he wants to know more of what's really going on. He knows there's more and he just hasn't figured it out. And since he's at the Administratum buildings, offices, and he has a message waiting for him from his former boss / current boss, depending on one's point of view, I guess he'll go and pick it up.
I was going to get mine too, by the way.
Can I grab Holly's as well? Like, I imagine it's a piece of paper or something.
Because Holly's getting there first because she's going to you stopped at the Administratum.
Oh, gotcha.
Holly, would you like to grab his while you're there?
No, I will not.
Okay, it's a simple message from Palatine Grace Hopewell asking if you are well and for a mission status report, since it's been 1 month since your departure, and she wants to know. It's been 1 month since you started working there, and she wants to know what your level of progress is on getting the rogue trader married.
Okay. So I'll take it back and I'll write a considered response in my cell later on.
Considered response. Incredible. Yeah. In your cell, is that what you're calling the apartment that you now?
Well, yeah, it's what I'm used to calling it from the convent.
For the convent days.
That's what he's calling it, so she could stay humble.
Yeah. Stay humble. And stay humble.
Yeah, and in fact, I'll put it like I'm writing this from the confines of my cell. You know, like I'm not going to make it look like I'm hamming it up.
Well, Velamris, when you pick yours up, it comes with many official symbols, and it is from Ordinate Barnum and Hoveler. That it just basically says you haven't made any progress. You've been using Administratum resources without submitting any reports. I demand immediately to know what is happening with you, and the Ad Astra Telepathica will hold you at the site you were picking this up from until you answer it. And when you look up from the message, you can see that there are several psychers with staves that are just looking at you and say, "Sir, we need you to come with us."
Can I fill out okay, I guess I'll just go with you now.
They put a sheet of paper in front of you, a quill, and an ink thing, and one of them says, "The three of us will stay here and monitor you for heresy. You will open your mind to my brother here while we check that your report is correct. We're not asking for permission." And one of the psychers is like,
he's not even going to bother trying to fight it. He's not stupid. And he hasn't, in his mind, he doesn't really have anything to hide either. He is going to do a quick abbreviated update because he does have that stack of paperwork back in his apartment that he has a few more days to fill out. So he's just going to give a quick update as to what's going on, what he's accomplished for the Rogue Trader, and then inform Barnaman that he will have the rest of the paperwork filled out that he just received, filled out and submitted and returned by the end of the prescribed time that he has to complete it, which I believe at this point is another 5 or 6 days.
Okay. I am
Thank you
going to need
for
you.
rolling dice, AP. I know what you're rolling for too.
Yeah. I'm going to need you to make a check.
Velamris?
Yes, Velamris.
Okay.
Yes.
I
So
was so hoping you'd summoned like a demon by mistake or something, AP.
that would have been
Velamris
incredible.
never comes back.
DJ.
He becomes one of the, what is it? The pink blobs that become a
Pink
blue
horror.
blob?
Pink horror, become a blue horror,
Pink
become a what do they call it now? They've got an even smaller version now. A
Oh,
brimstone horror. A brimstone
Oh,
horror. So they
geez.
become after they're blue.
I don't know
There's
why,
no
but those
color.
are my favorite.
That sounds wrong.
Those are my favorite for some reason. I don't know why.
Not dominate.
Those are your favorite? Heresy.
Well, but I could be as heretical as I want. Velamris, on the other hand, scared shitless of them.
I need you to make a discipline psychic check.
All I have is discipline. Do I get any advantages?
Do you
Not advantages, but
believe?
bonuses?
Do you believe that the psyker that is doing this to you is an enemy?
No.
Okay,
I think
then
he's
you
doing his
get
job.
no advantages.
Well, this will be fun. Ah!
Okay.
Wow.
Critical
That is
success.
so low.
It is not that you close your mind to this person, which would be a very serious problem given what they've told you. It's that rather than think about the fact that you hate your boss and are actively betraying him, constantly, you guide your thoughts away from it unconsciously to prevent yourself from being in such an incredible shit ton of trouble that you'd probably be burned at a stake. Your mind weaves a path away from it, and the psyker takes a look at your paper, ends the power, and goes, yeah, this all checks out. Okay.
Yeah, you think of the lyrics of a song which is a mind worm, and now the song that's stuck into
Well, I think part of it is like Velamris one believes he's doing everything he's supposed to be doing as a faithful citizen, faithful to the God Emperor. His new boss is the Rogue Trader, and that's how he sees everything. So if he were to do, in a way, you can't serve two masters, and right now the Rogue Trader is his master. And so he's doing everything he's supposed to do. Now, whether or not that checks with what he was sent here to do by Barnaman, that's where the treason comes in.
Well, the great news is that they don't get that from you, and they were very close to. They leave the room together, and you're getting the feeling that these three psychers are probably like the full contingent of power in the Ad Astra Telepathica office here. Like, this is a enormous number of psychers in a small area. Someone comes in and is just like, excuse me, hon. They said that they're done with you. Do you need like water or like a donut or something before we escort you out? Are you feeling okay? Use of psychic powers can cause all sorts of malabsorptions. You don't have like an extra tentacle. You can see in both eyes. You didn't become colorblind.
I will
There's
take
no
the donut. I'm feeling a little
frost.
peckish.
Okay, I'm gonna physically check you over. Okay, I'm gonna hold a symbol of
He's
the
gonna
God Emperor
T-pose.
in front of you. I'm gonna need you to put your hand on it just to make sure that there's nothing wrong with you.
Done. He's not
Okay,
going to fight at all.
fantastic. All right. Well, if you don't need anything from us, you are breathing our air and taking up our space. So I'm gonna guide you here, and we're gonna take you out of the facility. Thank you so much for visiting the Ad Astra Telepathica. Would you like to fill out this form here to tell us how good our survey was? That goes from 3 to 5. The 3 being the lowest you're allowed to fill out.
I'm going to put all 5s.
Okay, perfect.
And a comment of the aftercare was impeccable.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. Goodbye. She closes the door in your face as you exit the office, and they flip the sign to closed. Chat says he's
And now
a moron,
Velamris is
not
going
a
to have
heretic.
now Velamris is going to have these moments where he's like, and I just outwitted a psyker. But he's not going to say that
You
shit
don't
out
know
loud,
that,
of
though.
course.
You don't know that
But that's what he
happened.
feels like.
Well, you haven't
Okay.
been burned at the stake, so you probably outwitted him.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. I like the idea that he was never nervous about the fact that he was actively betraying his boss and was submitted to psionic interrogation. He was like,
And
yeah, I'm
walked
gonna be
out
fine.
squeaky clean.
No problem.
He's a moron, not a heretic.
What's that scene from Ocean's 11 where he's like, wow, fantastic. If I would, if I were to look at you, it would look like you were failing this test, but the record says that you've made your blood pressure test perfectly. And he's got like a nail in his boot that he's constantly stepping on and he's sweating.
Yeah, there was a lie detector test, to create stress, So my response back to the Paladin is simply that, my mission is going along well insofar as the negotiation has moved to the next step, which are waiting for the rogue trader to return so that can be concluded in person.
Right.
And I'm busy myself tending to the faithful in the meantime, to make sure and continue my studies.
Okay.
Yeah, as I languish here in my cell of penance, not surrounding myself with opulence, wealth, or pre-made coffee.
Do you include that specifically in your closing? Because that would be hilarious if you did.
So this episode ends with 1 day, 24 hours in the life of this group having been absolutely wild, and it's really just an average day for you all. And the post-credits scene is Liturgical sleeping at his desk, and we hear a voice saying, "Yes, that's right. I know you're still there, Liturgical, and I know you're faking being asleep, just like you do every day." And we see Liturgical doesn't move and is still pretending to sleep, and the voice says, "I'm not a figment of your imagination. Doom is coming for you, the end of not only you, of everything. Here in this place where the light of your precious god fades, real gods are beginning to stir, and something deeper, far deeper, that causes even things like me to feel fear, are moving." Liturgical continues to keep sleeping, or pretends to, and then some sort of horrifying purple tentacle creature is over top of him, and we see everything is crazy and warpish all around him, and the creature is like, "Yes, one day your mind will be mine, and I will ride you like a chariot as I burn the carcasses of everyone you work with. You will be mine. It has been promised." And hey, that's just an average day for Liturgical.
Yep. I was thinking that. I was like, is that foreshadowing, or is that just what normally happens?
That's what normally happens for him.
That's
Demons whisper to him. Everything wants to break into our reality and destroy everything at all times.
I've got this funny image in my mind now that Rassie walks by and it vanishes for that moment and comes back.
Yes, that's exactly what happens.
Okay. Is this thing working?
The chariot of your body.
Okay, go ahead and take, let's say 35 experience points for today.
What about the destruction of the tunnel snakes? Completing that? No?
What about it? Do you feel that was a goal or objective?
I'm being a smart ass.
The only good news about destroying the tunnel snakes is you don't owe them a debt.
It was on the chalkboard. The fact they were going to come bomb us was on the chalkboard.
We did clear an
but
item off
also
the
on the chalkboard was the fact that you owed them an outstanding debt.
Okay, well, they can be both those things can be crossed off the chalkboard now. They
can be crossed off the chalkboard. It doesn't give you bonus XP.
They can be moved into the completed folder.
You don't think 35 is generous?
I was being a smart ass. Don't listen to me.
These damn smart asses.
I'm not debating the value of XP. I'm debating the concept that you didn't think we achieved anything in this episode.
I didn't think you achieved any of your major objectives are to get what the rogue trader wants.
I like how
we've got two opportunities to move the cruelest pork now. So
I liked how Rassie was so proud about getting this meeting set up and was going to go be the driving force behind something and prove his worth to the rogue trader. And Holly's just like, you know what? Go kill something.
And hey, James learned a lot more than Holly did this episode.
Wow. Okay.
About what we're facing.
About what you're facing. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
do you want to share with the class after we turn the stream
no,
off?
I'll leave the audience to think about it.
I
But
mean,
I'll-
I think a bunch of Warhammer 40k fans are all going to be like, I obviously know what this is.
yeah.
Are we good for next week?
Yeah.
Yep.
I accidentally deleted the session from the calendar. That will be March 3rd. We'll be back then for the next episode. There will not be another episode of Stars Without Numbers tomorrow, but if you stick around tonight and you go to twitch.tv/ticking time Bob Gaming's channel, you can see me running Battletech Gentlemen and List. Anyone have any announcements we need to share before we wrap this one up?
Well, if you stick around later on tonight, I should get out my last round 3 game summary for Blood Bowl and the round 3 wrap up, so I can start to do round 4.
Nice.
That's what the delay has been, is getting my shit together to do those things.
Very well. Friends, we'll see you next week. Have a good time zone.